Good morning, and welcome to a long-awaited review that should have come out last year but didn't for some reason.
For some reason? Were you asleep during the last video or something?
Well, I thought saying it this way would be more interesting than, here's the video I promised you last time, or whatever.
Your logic makes no sense, but whatever. So, what is the review on?
Oh, that's right! I didn't tell you, did I? Take a guess.
Not happening.
Okay, here's a hint. Ta-da!
The pirate movie?
No, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
Okay, is it just the first film, or is it going to be all of them?
Out of them.
How many videos?
Maybe 3 or 4 of them?
Well, it's your channel. Just don't get us in trouble with the copyright police, okay?
No promises. Alrighty then, now that she's gone, let's talk history. Pirates of the Caribbean was made and distributed by Disney and is based on their ride in Disneyland that shares the same name. At least the first film was. The second, third, and fifth film did their own stories, while the fourth film was partially based on a book written by Tim Powers titled On Stranger Tides. But they also worked with one another, sort of, and proved that pirates are still cool. Before Disney and Lucas decided to make more Star Wars films. The directors are Gore Verbinski for movies 1 through 3, Rob Marshall for movie 4, and co-directors Espen Sandberg and Joachim Roning for movie 5. Meaning, we have people who also directed award-winning films Rango, Chicago, and Kon-Tiki. And out of all of them, I've only seen Rango. Not sure how I feel about that.
You need to watch more movies, girl.
Can you please leave now?
For now, yes.
Okay, to make sure everyone is on the same page, I'm going to explain exactly how this video is going to work. This series has a total of 5 films. Maybe a 6th one in the future, I don't know. So covering all of them in great detail is going to be very, very time consuming. Especially since this is my first, second, third, 10th attempt at making this review. So what's going to happen for each film is I'll go over a little bit of the backstory and box office records, go over a short story summary of the whole film, then talk about specific scenes that I want to talk about in detail. I hope you've all seen the series before watching this review, by the way, because nothing will make sense if you haven't. Also spoilers. And with the video structure and warning out of the way, let's begin the review. The first film of the series is called The Curse of the Black Pearl, referencing the cursed black ship in the film called the Black Pearl. That is known for being the fastest ship in the world and is run by a vicious, undead crew whose pillaging leaves no survivors.
No survivors? Then where do the stories come from, I wonder?
Or so the story goes in the movie. This part of the story actually wasn't a part of the original ride at Disney, and is the original story for this film, but cursed ships are a thing among sailors' tales, so it's still a believable story. Except for the no survivors part. The film was released in 2003 and is rated PG-13 for mild nudity, violence, gore, mild language, substance use, and the message that not all pirates are bad people. So all the mild fun stuff. The budget for the film was $140 million, and it made over $650 million in the box office. So, yeah, the company made their goal, despite the fact that every other pirate film before it made nothing. Hence why 4 more films later.
The gold calls to us.
Because this is a Disney film targeted towards families, the plot needed to be, well, simple for children, but still a fun watch for older kids and adults. And that is what we got. An easy-to-follow story with fun action and locations. The story centers around 4 main characters. Elizabeth Swann, played by Keira Knightley, is an only child to a British governor over a small fishing town called Port Royal. The girl likes pirates and dreams of meeting one someday. But when she thought her dreams were coming true after she was rescued by a pirate, she was then promptly threatened, kidnapped, sacrificed, abandoned, and let down by so many pirates around her, her opinion kinda shifted a bit.
Bloody pirates!
William Turner, played by Orlando Bloom, is an orphan rescued by Elizabeth and grew up learning how to craft and wield swords for a living, in hopes that his skills are enough to earn Elizabeth's attention and to find his loving father who disappeared for mysterious reasons.
He was a merchant sailor. A good, respectable man who obeyed the law.
Was a bloody pirate, a scallywag.
My father was not a pirate.
Captain Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp, is a poor excuse of a pirate who lost his ship and his crew to a mutiny led by the new guy. Angry, the captain found his way to Port Royal, where he found someone who can help him get his ship back.
What makes you think Barbossa will give up his ship to you?
Let's just say it's a matter of leverage, eh?
And last but not least, Captain Barbossa, played by Jeffrey Rush, is the current captain of the infamous Black Pearl. He is seeking out missing pieces of cursed Aztec gold in hopes of lifting his curse and get back the simple pleasures of life he once had.
Too long I've been starving to death and haven't died. I feel nothing. Not the wind on my face, nor the spray of the sea, nor the warmth of a woman's flesh.
The film goes back and forth between these four characters and how they get from one place to another as they try to survive pillagings, sword fights, gunfights, curses, and no rum.
You burned all the food, the shade, the rum.
Yes, the rum is gone.
Oh, the horror. Thanks, editor. And it ends with everyone getting what they wished for. Elizabeth got her pirate adventure, Will got his girl, Jack got his Black Pearl back, and Barbossa got his curse lifted. So everyone is happy! Now let's talk about a few scenes by starting with this one.
Carly!
How did Elizabeth know about the pirate code? Remember, she lives in a town run by people who hate pirates, right?
Vile and dissolute creatures, the lot of them. I intend to see to it that any man who sails under a pirate flag or wears a pirate brand gets what he deserves. A short drop and a sudden stop.
And from what we saw in movie 3, the Pirates Codes book is huge. How can a young girl hide that kind of thing from anybody? Much less her father and kind of fiancé. I've been asking myself this question for so long, I can't figure anything out.
Okay, here's your answer.
What?
I know how she knows about the pirate code. Elizabeth likes stories about pirates, right? So, more than likely, her father got her books about pirates that also include bits and pieces about the pirate code. Hence why she knows who created the code.
According to the code of the Brethren set down by the pirates Morgan and Bartholomew, you have to take me to your captain.
But because she doesn't know everything about how the pirate code works, that's how Barbossa was able to take advantage of her lack of knowledge and keep her on his ship.
Your return to shore was not part of our negotiations nor our agreement, so I must do nothing. And secondly, you must be a pirate for the pirate's code to apply, and you're not. And thirdly, the code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
It's the same thing as someone who thinks they know a lot about forensics after seeing forensic files, except they actually don't and end up getting caught committing a murder.
Oh, now I feel stupid.
You're not stupid. It just takes some skill in figuring things out or coming up with good excuses. Just try working your brain a little bit. I know you can do it.
Yes, editor. Okay, next scene.
So there is a curse.
This scene is awesome! Setting up what the curse is and why Will was unable to kill them during the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Port Royal! I meant to say Port Royal.
The special effects in every scene involving the curse I've always thought was very well done and successfully added the extra creepiness and tension the scenes needed. Definitely have given every child nightmares if they saw these scenes. I also like a later scene where we see the whole ship and crew in the moonlight, mostly because it's just fun and Barbossa's most iconic line is from this scene. And is the reason why Barbossa is my favorite character.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Next scene!
Ooh, it's still warm.
I've heard some people have issues with this one, and I don't blame them. In the last scene, Barbossa stated that he can't feel the warmth of another person, so how can he feel Elizabeth's body heat from her dress? Here's a few of my not quite theories, but more excuses. First, Barbossa was making a joke. He knew how long Elizabeth was wearing that dress, so his assumption that it's warm without needing to feel it would make sense. And to make her feel embarrassed, might as well make a joke about her body. Second, Barbossa was literal in talking about being unable to feel the warmth of another's flesh. So he could feel warmth, but not directly coming from another person. But
This is hard to believe, seeing as feeling warmth also means being able to, feel things, like pain. And we have seen at least twice that Barbossa doesn't feel pain. Third, the writers forgot how their own curse works. Simple as that. Writers forget things in their own stories all the time. That's how plot holes exist. This is a boring excuse, but more than likely, that's what happened. Speaking of feeling things, next scene.
I feel cold.
Oh boy, this scene was just brilliantly put together with the amazing combination of good acting, good lighting, and satisfying ending to, in my opinion, an awesome antagonist. As for everyone's reaction to the scene, well, I think everyone was distracted by something else. You see, when Jack shot Barbossa, the curse was still active. Will hadn't made the sacrifice yet. But after Will dropped the medallions, somehow the bullet still killed Barbossa. Why? Well, here's my theory. Injuries sustained in human form stay in the body until it is brought into moonlight. Hence why Jack didn't die even though he had been stabbed earlier, but Barbossa did because he didn't step back into the moonlight to heal up before, well,
But what about the other pirates?
You might be asking. Well, they probably kept fighting for a while after the curse was lifted, which results in sustaining injuries that couldn't be healed anymore. Simple as that.
The ship is ours, gentlemen.
And that's about all the scenes I want to talk about. Honestly, I love this film and can't find anything wrong with it. Childhood nostalgia does that to people, but even years later, I still think this film was well made and still very entertaining. A high recommendation to watch it from me if you haven't already. Even though I did tell everyone earlier that you should see the film before watching this video, but I know there's at least one person out there who ignored it and is watching this video right now. Just calling you out now, my friend. Anyway, I love this film, adore the soundtrack, and enjoy the story and jokes. And that is the end of Movie 1, Curse of the Black Pearl. And just so everyone know, the next two films, Dead Man's Chest and At World's End, both tell the same story, so I'll be putting those two together in the same video. While the last two films will have their own videos. Mostly because this series review is going to be long no matter what I do. But I hope everyone will be able to join me in video number 2, where I'll be talking about both the best and worst films in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Good night!